Hello!
Hello.
Hey everyone! Now the stream is live. Let's turn on the sound so you can actually hear this amazing Drone Swarm demo that we brought here with us. You can at this very moment also download it and play it yourself. The Steam Game Festival is now beginning. Boop, boop. So, to introduce ourselves, this is Andre.
Hello, everybody.
He's lead designer on Drone Swarm, so there's a lot of things in there that you will enjoy, and he's the guy you can blame for it.
Yes, and I can also push the blame on Julian, who
Yeah.
is the grandmaster of design here, as well as other, roles. So we can just gonna ping pong about all the best
This
stuff.
is your fault.
Exactly.
This is my fault. So
Perfect.
yeah,
So
it's
no worries,
perfect. It's gonna be amazing. So first highlight, I have to show it. I just love it so much. You know, in the main menu, if you hover over the drones, they actually react. So yeah, in case you have never heard about Drone Swarm is a real-time strategy game where you control this swarm of 32,000 drones. You know, it's really you being the master conductor of moving them about, using them defensively, using them offensively, and all the jazz. So it's really, really cool. I hope you saw the trailer just beforehand. And yeah,
We
should dive in probably, right?
Yes. I would say. Enough teasing the people.
Yes, but please remain seated, everyone. So here we are at the very first encounter and ready to embark on our mission, because our mission is to find New Earth. So we are here on that quest, and you can see right away the enemies are attacking us. We can move about the camera like with edge panning, with right mouse button, and here you see we need to destroy them. Right now they are dealing some damage, as you can see down there. There's like 32,000.
Tutorial damage.
That's tutorial damage, obviously. So it's not that grave, but as you can see, they're draining our drones slowly. So they're also deactivating them for a bit, which gives you this really nice impact when the laser hits like that. So I would say,
See, if they're thin enough, it can also punch through them.
yes, that's true. Because as you might know, in Drone Swarm we actually have these 32,000 drones that are all individually simulated. So every one of those checks whether or not it's being hit, and the laser can check how many are hit on its way, so to say. And if the amount of drones there is too thin, the laser will just punch through and hit the Argo instead, which is your mothership and your big Achilles heel. But enough talking, let's show the attack. Let's do a dry run first. So what you need to do is draw a line, and that's basically your attack vector. And as you can see, the drones arc out, form this spiral that really smashes through everything and then goes back into the swarm pool, how we call it, basically your available drones. And you can do that.
The swarm pool also acts as it's obvious, but let's just restate it. It also acts as like one of your main line of defense against whatever else happens.
Almost like the last line of defense, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because you will learn later why you can, or how you can defend yourself better. So let's be efficient about this, call them all in one path, and push through, tearing through their armor, as the Commander Kylie says. And now we're ready for the next wave. There's another set of pirates there, but they have blue torpedoes. That's gonna be different. Let's draw the wall. So that's basically with the W key you can activate the wall command and then bring up a protective drone wall. Right now there is like 9,000 drones in the wall formation trying to defend the mothership. But here we have very nasty enemies because they actually shoot these EMP torpedoes, right?
Yes, there's the EMP torpedoes. They disable drones in any state, as you can see. If you can tilt the camera a bit so we can see the nice holes in the wall. There we go.
There you can see
So they're gonna
them.
reform.
Oh yeah, they're reform. Yeah, because the wall has a lifetime, because you can only maintain concentration so much, right?
There's
and therefore
32,000 of them.
yes, then
yeah.
See,
So-
the wall reforms, and after being hit by the blue torpedoes, you see that a lot of drones are being disabled and yeah, basically hovering about.
And that creates
And then you
space
see
for the
how it reforms. And here you can see the wall is disintegrating. It's losing cohesiveness. So it's time for us to build a new one. Later, of course, you can upgrade it so your concentration is longer. Because basically how we control the drones, that is the commander guy in there. That's Captain Carter.
That's your avatar in the game,
Yes.
basically. And he's controlling them psionically somehow, so it's mind bullets, you know.
Yes.
And yeah, well, his ability to control them and the number of tricks that he can make them do are part of the progression of the
Yeah.
game. Right? So as you progress, you will learn to do new things with
And
the
we
drones
can also
or do better stuff. That
like right click on anything and it will dissolve. That's very useful if you want to get rid of a wall, if you want to, you know,
if you missed an attack, like
like oh, I missed, okay, then better cancel it, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it goes.
Right?
Like now we go for the kill. You can do multiple tactics here. You can, you know, like just you do it like this, which is super wasteful in terms of number of drones you need to commit, but on the other hand, very effective as well.
Well, it's tied into the thing that the number of as you remove drones from your the pool around the Argo, that obviously drops your defenses and leaves the Argo more and more exposed. So you need to be, I mean, for the tutorial level, obviously there wasn't an issue, but normally you need to kind of watch out how many
Yes.
drones you pull out because, you know, you might get the Argo killed.
Here we are on the meta layer. As you can see, there's a galaxy map right now. It's very unexplored, but you will get more and more systems that you can explore. And here we can basically research why we're on our travels, basically, right? And so here we want to get more hit points for the Argo. That's a research, and we want to get the basics for the shield effect, right? So the shields of the Argo. So we have both researches on, and now warp to the next location. So I hope you're still seated, guys. It's still very crucial. And we found one of those energy nexuses. So these energy nexuses are where you do upgrades. I mean, you maybe played Fallen Order or something where you have these concentration meditation points where you can actually upgrade your abilities. It's very similar to that, because here you get to then upgrade. See, you can say, okay, I want to have those reinforced bulkheads that I just researched, so let's get that. And there's a second resource, which is basically almost like skill points, where you get upgrades for the drone abilities. And here you get right away that your wall will now be able to block enemies as well, which is super useful.
So you get 2 tracks of research here. One is related to the Argo and costs you like regular resources, minerals, or whatever salvage you can get off the ships. And the other is more like an experience system in which the more you kill, the more experience kind of you get for Carter. And at some point it just allows you to focus and expand one of these skill points, let's call them, just generically, and gain an ability for the Swarm.
Yep.
The new one.
By the way, welcome Jason from GameTech UK. I love that you like the looks of it. He just wrote, you know,
Oh,
he loves the look,
okay.
yeah. So, there is another system, Big Hako. There is actually a system modifier, because the color of the sun kind of does something, right?
We got them, yeah, exactly. Just to add another tactical layer or another thing you have to decide upon, we added this system-wide modifiers based on the color of the sun. So you can kind of pre-plan, you know, taking into account the level difficulty, the encounter difficulty, that's also, you know, foreshadowed to you a bit. And the color of the sun and the faction that you're about to
basically
fight.
Creating variety, kind of.
Yeah, you can just choose. Like for example, this one, you know, favors obviously ships that are fast would become nearly untouchable in later levels. Here we're just gonna have a demonstration of how it's actually faster. So we get the ships that you also had in the tutorial.
See how they whoosh about?
Yes.
So hitting them like this, you kind of need to lead a lot, you know, like ooh, ooh, ooh. But I think it's time anyways to do our new cool wall ability that stops
The
ships.
flycatcher.
Yes, the flycatcher. See how the flycatcher works? I mean, it will push through eventually, but the key thing here is just not giving him the chance for it. And please bear in mind, this is a work in progress build, so there is still some things here and there that are not as we intend them to be in the end. But obviously, we wanted to share it with you anyways, because...
Oh, you actually took some damage over this encounter. See?
Actually, I did, yeah.
About
6%. It's not crazy. This is not...
600 drones too, so... Yep.
Yeah, well, maybe I need to be more careful with it. And here you go. He just nicely walked into my trap. If he's just having lasers that pump through, this is not really gonna be a problem, but this way I can basically dissolve this wall and instead use the drone somewhere. See, he's pushing through. We are killing him before he does, because this is really...
The laser weapons are pretty nasty against the drones, so they deal less damage than the missiles when it comes to shooting the Argo itself. But the actual beam, so not just the impact point, the actual beam deals damage to the swarm as it passes through. So you cut with it, anime style. You know,
I was just notified that the game sound is a little on the low end, so let me crank it up a bit, and please guys, let me know if it's gonna be an issue.
211.
So, let's go to breach. Engage.
Breach.
So here we are. This is a different setup. We need to protect somebody, namely this cargo vessel, or actually, yeah, they're basically extracting people from this cargo vessel, their ally, and our job is to keep any enemies off their back whilst they're doing that.
We got a little timer on the corner there, so you need to protect them for about 2 minutes.
Exactly. So now also the type of encounters are going to be, yeah, more diverse. And here we're actually seeing the first time a very nice new ship, which is Devourer.
They're killing you.
Oh, haha, this torpedo hit himself. That's how I like it.
Yeah, that's also a thing where...
These torpedoes are harsh. This is a cruiser. This cruiser is actually pretty nasty. We need to be sure that it doesn't hit it. Oh, damn it. Let's... Oh, that hurts. That hurts badly. Let's get rid of this shenanigans. Yes, that's how you do it. Okay, I need to get rid of this guy. Right now, it's super easy. I just need to commit a lot of drones. It's more about timing and so on. Things will change, my dear friends. It will get a lot harder killing them. And the simple tactics of just whoop, cross, cross, cross will not work anymore. But you'll see soon enough.
You're about to lose it anyways, Julian. I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, I am trying. It's really not that easy. I mean, it's not like I played this before, ever.
There's people on those transports, man.
Yes. No! Which
screen.
one got through? Which one? This is quite embarrassing, people.
We needed to show the defeat screen.
Yes,
so
we wanted to show the defeat screen.
exactly.
See, guys, I showed you the defeat screen. I hope you appreciated it. It came at a great personal cost. There has been another question from Jason. So how would you describe this game in a few short sentences?
Few short.
Short. Oh, that's the wrong question. I think. But well, I need to be careful because otherwise I'm getting destroyed again. So, short sentences. Drone Swarm is a strategy swarm game, a swarm strategy game where you control 32,000 space drones at the same time. and you're basically the conductor, using them for offense and defense and utility and you name it. And you are on a mission to find new Earth and ultimately find a new home for humanity. But there is a lot of hostility in this galaxy, so there you have it.
Quite a few sentences, but I guess.
Yeah, thank you, Andre. Thank you. Please, you try better.
No, it's.
Go better. Go do better.
I cannot add to that. That's a masterpiece.
Yes, right.
I don't know if like the prequel to it, or how should I put it, the plot for this whole adventure. I don't know if it's been stated somewhere except the main menu screen there, or if people know it, but I'll just say it again. Is that this sphere and the swarm that we're actually controlling here at some point attacked the Earth. The Earth responded with some nuclear weapons just as a last resort, and in turn just poisoned the whole surface of the Earth, so they're barely surviving. And with last-ditch effort on some parts of some psionics, I'm not going to add too much detail there, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but the humanity gained control over this swarm and the sphere, build the Argo around it, and set forth with this, you know.
Because we destroyed our planet, right? And have now this amazing alien technology, the sphere and the swarm, to overcome the aliens who are otherwise quite superior to us. As you can see, like cool plasma weapons, antimatter reactors and whatnot, so yeah. Ooh, we get the beam battery upgrade for the Argo, so let's do this. So, Shinobi Master, welcome to the stream also to you. And great you have seen it already in the past. He actually saw it already. That's always like amazing. Yes, of course, but you know, actually people seeing it. So yeah, it's great to have you back. You were asking which engine do you use to achieve that much of drones to form a proper swarm. We're using Unity, but let's say out of the box, you have to do a little bit of something. So we're here in a new system, Duplicity, and there we actually have these gas clouds. If you look about, you have these blue gas clouds that are actually quite devastating. Let's maybe just push the swarm in. You see, it's being... Okay, I'll show it later. There's a new cruiser, a new enemy. It is fully shielded, right? So we have to be careful how we attack them, because if we just attack it like, let's say this, right? The drones will be repelled by the shield, right? But we are lucky now because it drove into this cloud, which deactivates its systems and especially its shield. So that's a great way for us to get around the shield. And
sure, the drones will also be
yeah,
disabled.
well, there is some drones that are being disabled because of it if you're flying through the cloud, but well, there is sacrifices to be made, so we make them. So there was another question whether or not we use the Unity dots. Let's say partially.
No,
ooh, they're shooting above the wall. How dare they?
It's very nasty.
Yes, very, very nasty.
You see, they have also a close range defense system that you're just gonna.
Yeah, see the Seawees.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we call them seaweeds. I don't know if they're ever called seaweeds. Look, sounds like seaweed. So yeah, how did the drone technology come to be? We started out with it being a shader. So it was a pure pixel shader, vertex shader, where every drone in a texture was basically one pixel. And then we moved over to compute shaders, so got better performance. This was a couple of years back, so this is in progress for a while now. But let's say this compute shader approach worked nicely, and we had this highly optimized code, no branching, very condensed loops, very, very dubbed down, so it actually can run very well in parallel. And then dots came about, so especially the burst compiler and the job system. And those two made a very interesting proposition. So we thought, let's try it out if it runs on the CPU, because we would have a couple of advantages there in terms of control of the drones and whatnot. And so we took this highly optimized shader code and transformed it into CPU code, which was actually very straightforward. And then we had this highly optimized CPU code that was dubbed down crazily by the burst compiler. So hooray, and suddenly it ran now on the CPU. So that's where it's currently being simulated, and that's where it runs absolutely smoothly. There is another question. Hacker Gamer, how do you approach creating a cool game?
Well,
that's a very broad question.
I mean, you get a good idea, you wrap a pitch around it, and then turn that pitch into a design document, and then
two-sentence thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just that's kind of it. I mean, that's the process now. The actual work behind it.
It's a big process, I would say. It's always hard if somebody asks how did you get to this game idea? It's not one single instance where you just say, bam, there it is. This is Drone Swarm. Yeah. This is a whole process, lots of thoughts, lots of problems, lots of things that you throw away again.
For this, I guess you could maybe pinpoint at the actual drone tech as being, like sparks the idea.
That was the spark, but
exactly.
It wasn't. The drone tech is there for a long while. Why are we in development for such a long time? Because we took a lot of time to iterate the game design around the swarm, because there is no game out there that we know of where you can control an entire swarm, and act in this strategy kind of game-like environment. So we had to come up with a good control scheme that feels good, that allows you the creativity wanted, because this is a sandbox game, right? Where you try out a lot of different behaviors and try to combine them and outsmart the enemy. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
With every sandbox, of course, there's super challenging in creating some sort of balance out of it, making sure people don't.
Should we get the kinetic path? Yeah, let's get the.
We cannot even get it, man. Or
there was.
Oh, okay, there was one.
Okay,
yes. Good stuff.
So all good.
Kinetic path is the fun path.
So there is, in the end, a total of 4 swarmability path or families, if you want, and within those there is 4
variations.
4 variations, exactly. So there's a total of 16 different swarm abilities in the game that you can unlock step by step. So I would say let's go to obscurity. Ooh, we need another research. This one is easy. That's a prerequisite research that unlocks a lot of other research. But yeah, it's also quite useful.
We also try to use the progression system to also push a bit of the narrative. Like there's some part of, there's some technology from one of the races that you get that also tells a bit of a story or just adds more flavor to that.
By the way, the story obviously will be presented in a lot better fashion, because right now it's text to speech. That's obviously absolutely temporary and kind of horrible to hear, but better than reading it. So yeah, we decided to go with it. And later on there will be full voiceovers, nice cutscenes in between. We want to kind of rebirth these epic campaigns that you had in strategy games a couple of years ago, or maybe more than a couple.
More than a couple.
Yes.
10 or so maybe.
Yeah. We're the kind of guys who think 1990 is like 10 years ago. Yeah, but actually, we're not that old, but still. So here we need to protect these cargo ships. So let's do it. This has been a very badly placed wall because it's in the middle of the cloud. So let's place it at the edge here instead and destroy these ships. Wow, what happened?
That is the bad
That
cruiser.
was the bad EMP throwing cruiser. I don't like it.
So that's one of the things that, what we
Boom! It pushes everything.
It's a bit broken, maybe. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is absolutely intended. Honestly, I think we should keep that also for the final game, that there's some special weapon that pushes everything, strips the entire Argo of its swarm pool.
But this is an example of those things that we said before, that, we have some methods for the enemy to counter your obvious.
Yes, see, that's the obvious tactic being countered. So what you play here about is trying to get around his cooldown, right? So you attack while he's reloading. So ideally, the first attack you do there will be disabled, right? And later, then, wow, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, well, since you brute force it, for example, there with just attacking him outright, lost a lot of drones, and that's gonna be costly in the end.
So I will use the new kinetic path if it works.
It's the path, maybe just a regular one.
Hold on, Argo.
Druid?
We're coming to help.
So it's not the charge for that.
It used to work. That's embarrassing, but that's life. So here we got some allies. They are helping defend these cargo ships. So it's about time they arrived. And here we have another of those shielded guys. I will demonstrate again what happens if we simply attack him. All the drones will be repulsed and are going into hibernation. So we need to attack from the rear. Zoom and zoom and zoom.
Why are you
so hard?
Yes, he won't. He won't. I'm just that
know
strong.
what you're doing. This is
Then your allies warped out, I
Their
guess that
comms
was
are
the
jammed.
effect.
Yes, and we lost one of the cargo ships
are
we
in
were
good enough conditions to
we are
do that
actually
up.
supposed to
The
protect.
Dashan people thank you. Meet up with our main fleet at the system known as
So
Bulwark
we'll see.
if you want to help us further. Blessing.
Any more questions?
I like
please
these
just
people's
pop them
spirit.
into the chat.
Reminds me
and
of our
go
own
ahead.
heroes of old. The rebellion fighting the empire.
We are
etc.
ready
I
for
still
them,
don't
usually. So, as you can see, at the end of an encounter, you actually get your resources from all the wrecks that are on the map still. You salvage them and get the resources, right?
I can't download them.
eViolet says I can't download the demo from Steam. That's weird. It should be live at this very moment. I will tell.
Yeah.
So I hope it will be looked at and fixed. It should definitely be live right now. So here we have now the galaxy slowly opening up. We can go to the rest. We can explore other systems. We can jump however we like at this point. I'm at the moment not in need of any repairs because I'm 100% pretty much everywhere. So I will go to routes first. Because I'm kind of a completionist, you have to know, so.
This system is buzzing with energy. It will overload any reactor.
I just got the message that we're on it, checking out why this build is not live at the moment, and it should soon be live. So here's another system with a system modifier of plus 30% speed.
Here they come.
There will be obviously more system modifiers than just this one. And here we fight against the pirates again. So it's about time we kick them out of orbit.
But now we have the.
Ooh, yeah, we do have it. It just doesn't work.
But can you maybe just the regular path?
Was the kinetic path, not the cannonball. In any case, the kinetic path, what does it do? It pushes. It pushes. So you can push things or ships or whatever you actually want, asteroids, into other things, which is the most fun of it all. So.
But next time maybe if we should get into a repair system and maybe get that cannonball, I guess. It's supposed to be somewhere around here.
Yes.
That's the more spectacular.
Definitely. Ooh, I missed him. Time to. It's time.
Fast, no?
They're moving super fast. I barely erect the wall and they're already through it. What the heck? They're too powerful, dude. So here you go, and you die too, and you die too. You see, I'm running out of drones for the attack. I commit a lot on the defense.
That's costing you.
Yeah, this is costing me too much there. and therefore I have to keep an eye on the balance here.
System looks clear.
So let's get out of here.
Let's get out.
Let's get going. So here we are again. Let's go to trial then.
We have one of those crystals thing there.
Yes, we have a new ability can be unlocked now, so it's about time.
Kinetic charge. Kinetic charge.
Michael Müller wrote, the fluid technique of the swarm and the tactics part are cool. Thank you very much. You put a lot of effort in it. There is the cannonball we were talking about. So look at it.
Be amazed.
Be amazed. It charges up, it comes up in a very tiny ball, and then you release it and push them away forever and ever and ever. So that's how it goes. And we also can get shields and the laser battery. Amazing.
We got everything.
We get everything but the loop. It's amazing. Oh, we got
there's the
shields.
laser
now.
on top there.
Shields, there's the laser on top. It's amazing. So you get to upgrade the mothership as well to make it let's have a support role, let's say, throughout the battle.
I mean, it starts as a vulnerability, but then it evolves a bit into being less vulnerable, so you can maybe remove
Yes.
the drones from it
System that was
more,
indicated
and
from
also
dash.
like some sort of a map hazard, since it doesn't
Yes.
move.
Station
You know,
ID,
you just
close
push
range
stuff
standards.
close to it, or you know, do
Incoming
something.
dash and com.
For example, this laser has its behavior, its small AI there, since you don't control it, is that it tries to finish off enemies that you're already damaging. So
There is
Halt
the
to
laser.
battle
yeah,
stations.
well, its mount has been adjusted
Yes.
since this version, but yeah, it's where it's supposed to be. So we will try to shoot
See,
enemies that
now
are below
the-
a certain HP.
The shields are being attacked and they won't pass through. We have here our shield power. So, EMP torpedoes hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So it's about time we used our new ability and push something into this big ship here. Boom!
Boom.
And this is how you make it
And
die.
since you got that below a certain HP,
Our
the
knowledge of this
Argo
space
zapped
doctrine
it.
tells us that
See?
if you
That was
destroy these
fine.
cruisers that we've marked for you, the wing commander would warp in.
So
Destroy his ship as he
we
lands.
can try it here too. I kinda doubt that we'll have enough impact to push this into the other one, but we can try. It's too little. They're just too heavy. We will probably need an upgrade or what for this first. So let's get rid of this guy and then this guy. We have our shields back. That's great. Then we can leave without the war. And here you go.
Ah, the Argo's up that one again.
His ship will be marked.
Yes. Poseidon is asking, but I have another question. Can you unlock cosmetics of the drones? Maybe color change or little skin change? Not at the moment.
The thing is, yeah.
Shielded enemies. That's getting worse and worse by the minute because this one has a couple of really powerful weapons on it on top.
The thing is, the color of the drones
It has the flak. It has the flak. We have to get rid of the flak.
it kills
You,
everything.
you see the weapon cone here. This is super powerful. If this doesn't hit a shield, we are pretty much in trouble.
The color of the drones reflects their current state, so you can see, you know, we have the blue ones for the wall, the red ones for the attack, we have the other paths too, and it's kind of, I don't know how that would work with a skin
Yes.
or a color scheme for
Yes.
them,
So
unfortunately.
at this very moment, we don't have a plan on that. More on the Argo side, if even, but even that is unclear. Maybe just to show another nice little thing, if I just do this, you know, the drones will go there and still be repelled because they try to move through. So you actually can chain pathing, right? You can just throw it without ability, then turn off on the ability and make it follow that initial curve. Yeah, of course you have also an EMP weapon. This
And the
is
shields adapt, I
yeah,
think,
the adapting shields too, but yeah, it's about time we got this one taken care of.
it does everything, right?
It does everything.
the Argo
Nice.
finished
That
it.
was the laser. That's the finisher laser. Just this kex.
Kill it!
Yes, kill it. when it's
The
done.
remaining enemy fleet is disengaging. The station has
So,
been
is
reduced to
there
hot
any more
slag.
coming?
The rest of the Boer fleet has been intercepted and obliterated.
Big Roy is asking, when do you estimate a playable version of the game will be released? Today!
Yay, should be already in.
This very version you can play afterwards. At the moment we're having some issues regarding the Steam Game Festival demo that you're supposed to be able to download, but at the moment there is an issue. But it will be fixed shortly, I'm sure of it, and then you can play it right away.
Also, if you join
And
our
we won!
if you join the Discord and subscribe to the newsletter, you would get announced future playtest of which
Yes.
there are gonna be.
There is also closed playtests that we will be conducting in the upcoming months, actually.
Yeah.
So there you will get to play not just this smaller version, but really the full version of the game, where you get to, basically where we need feedback, where we need your impressions, where is something unclear, what is not feeling right, what is way too difficult, because we tend to make it so. So yeah, basically playtesting and giving a lot of feedback on that. So if you want to do that, just head over to our homepage, droneswarmgame.com, and register for our newsletter. That's the very easiest way. Also, if you like it, wishlist it. That's always a good way to stay in touch, so you will be informed at least about announcements, new demos, whatnot. Ruben DeWet, nice name. When will this game be released? Definitely 2020, so definitely this year. When exactly is yet unsure, and also strongly depends on how much feedback we get, what kind of feedback. You know, if you get the feedback like, you need to redo everything, that will take longer, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we give it another roll?
Yeah, maybe we can try and looking at the path from the start and smack them around.
Yes, yes. Proceed on. Will there be more than one difficulty level? Yes, we will very likely have 3 difficulty levels, so you can adjust to however you want to experience it. Like more the story guide, that you just, just going through it, being all the powerful being, and beyond that, just smashing stuff. Or the really very tactical player that has to very carefully consider what he is committing with and when.
Yeah, it's just one of the major snags with setting up difficulty just right is the fact that due to the fickle nature of the swarm, you can't really rely on it dealing a certain amount of damage, or it depends a lot on how you attack a ship.
Yes,
say,
you
right?
need to be
So-
taking the swarm's nature into account when you do
Yeah.
something. Because obviously, when you draw a path, for instance, it might be 4,000 drones, it might be 5,000 drones if it's about the same, so the damage won't be the exact same,
Exactly the same.
but you will develop this feeling like, how much do I need to commit to get a certain job done?
Yeah.
And it will be way more, like you saw earlier in the later on fight, way more about enemies countering your tactics, like shields being there, EMP guns being there, like pushaways. Also like these EMPs that just create holes in your walls. That's basically a counter to your walls. Right now they're doing not much damage, the torpedoes that go through, but
Our internal playtests have shown that it's super easy to get it wrong on the other side of the difficulty.
yes.
Just by having the same encounter kind of, but increasing the damage, like say 5 times or something. And suddenly from a very relaxed situation where you have the time to decide from behind your walls or I don't know what, turns into a panicky thing. Oh my god, this is shooting me, or I got hit twice and now I'm kind of dead
Yes.
situation where you sounds more like goes towards roguelikes more than RTSs, So
Yeah.
we have to find the sweet spot in between for our average difficulty, and definitely the others can also be adjusted.
So Nerutz actually said that there seems to be a general issue with the demos, because none of the demos he bookmarked are being able to download it. So yeah, I hope there is yeah, I hope there is something we figure out, because obviously we want you guys to get your hands on this.
It's like a Steam issue.
Yeah, seems to be some Steam related issue. So, what I wanted to show you actually is in the next, or the one after, I will unlock all the abilities, because that's how we can do it, right?
Neat.
I'm going through there very fast, because I want to get to the juicy part, and then I can give you a little bit of a sneak peek
We've
on
arrived at
the other abilities in the game.
It's a good time to repair and research.
So
orbits
here
while
again
Argo
we're at the
recovers.
energy nexus.
Here reveals
Those
some of its
are
secrets.
those points where you can actually upgrade your swarm, get new improvements there, new abilities, right? And ultimately upgrade your whole face
Like a-
style.
So I mean, the whole progression is balanced in such a way that normally, I mean, this is not a reference for it, but the intention that we have is that you always
System is
have
buzzing with energy.
decisions to make. So it's not,
It will overload
you're not
any
gonna
reactor,
end up,
giving more energy.
you know, with too many of
Here
those
they
skill
come.
points and nothing to spend them on, but more of the other kind. Like you have
Mhm.
some stuff to spend it on, and you have to decide what you would get right now and what you have to postpone for later.
So there is a question, do I understand this in the right manner? I cannot move the Argo, can I only protect it? Yes, that
Yes.
is true. There have been long discussions about it, how we should approach it, because obviously you kind of also want to move the Argo, and we feel the same way. But the game is about the drones, and the whole enemy fleet is actually focusing on the Argo. So the entire gameplay happens anyways, always around the Argo, regardless where it is. So we decided to basically make it more easier to control in the end, that the Argo wouldn't move. I mean, it's still something we could, in theory, add, but currently we don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
It
So-
adds a lot of, I mean, it's another moving part, literally almost in this
Yeah.
case, which throws a big stick into like anything related to balancing or, you know, making the experience as we want it to be.
Yes.
And, you know, that's not gonna, we had some, I think we can maybe divulge that we had some notion of, you know, kind of faking it a bit with a
Yeah, I
scrolling
mean,
level
it
underneath or
depends.
something like that, but
Whether you fake it or not, you're moving the Argo, right?
yeah, but it's not gonna be a thing. Like you cannot push it with the drones around, or I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
you think it might work. It can just be teleported by the drones
Yes.
like that. That's its jump drive basically, and that's the
So
only way. it works.
you might wonder why I'm not bothering killing the enemies, because I want to show you a little bit what other abilities are about. So maybe the Devourer Attack?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, let's show the
that'd be
Devourer Attack.
spectacular.
So you can commit a lot of drones to attacking a single enemy. Usually works a lot better with a lot bigger enemies than this one. So it does very little damage in the beginning, and then does more and more and more and more. In theory.
Yeah, well, you should try it on a larger one.
Yes,
It
I
can
need
get
a
a lot
larger
better.
one because this one is so small. It actually, yeah, the
Oh,
behavior needs to be tweaked more.
That laser ruined a lot of your drones.
Really,
But
I
it's
mean,
way
it's
back.
okay. It's okay. Still
It's
okay.
killing them by the hundreds.
Then, of course, as you saw before, maybe already, the kinetic charge. It's basically cannonball. So we bunch the drones up in a very tight knot of drones, and then release them all at once. Creating. Okay, this was underwhelming, dude.
Pulled the
What the
brakes.
heck is there? What the heck is going on? Let's try it again.
Now they're gonna be too close. No. Oh, they
Da-
moved
da-
apart
da-
a bit.
da-
It's perfect. There we go.
This is how you do it. So this was the desired effect. Then later on there will be enemies where you'll need to have a moving wall, right? And you can do that as well. And then attack from behind cover, so to say, right? This is very useful for some of the enemy weaponry.
And the flag that you've seen before.
Yes, the flag, for instance. If you approach it directly, that would be quite devastating.
A question about how the in-game economy works and if you can continue playing indefinitely. Well, at least in the main game, no. You need to play. It's gonna be story-driven. It's gonna have an ending, and you're gonna have to play by it. The economy plays a role in, of course.
Yeah, we're focusing a lot on the story. We are also putting a lot of effort into the story and the presentation, but we want, you know, as said, in Drone Swarm it's all about enemies countering your style, right? Countering your play, and for that, we felt when we were at the decision where we go, do we go with a generated world, right, or do we go with a handcrafted one? Obviously, the handcrafted one is a lot of work, also the generation is, but in the end, we felt we could get way cooler encounters in if we handcraft them and try to, you know, anticipate how we can counter you.
Also, again, when it comes to, you know, securing the experience, let's say, having a generated content throws yet another moving part in the path of, you know, in the
you not
great
enjoying it
mechanism.
ultimately.
I mean, it can very easily come out bad. For example, it's very easy to break, and coupled with the general fluid nature of the whole balancing thing, you know, I just wanted to secure one thing, you know, that's not moving. Like besides the Argo,
Yeah.
also the story kind of needs to be, you know, a bit more static. Like
But on the other hand, we do know that this is a great potential. We could have a sequence of encounters that are ever increasing in difficulty, and also make them, you know, interesting and kind of very powerful and hard. Because if you die in the end, that's how it is.
think of the rift mechanics in Diablo, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
what
Something like that is definitely on the table. Maybe not for the release, maybe after. I mean, we plan to expand on it, and we plan to increase the feature set of the game anyways. So we might go that direction. Of course, if you guys like it. I mean, if everybody wants to a continuation of the story, then we'll go with that. Or
Leonardo.
ideally both, actually.
We have a fan of both of us,
We're
so
about
we're
to
gonna
land
have
on
to
the
share.
dash and signal source.
My name is Leonardo. I'm a fan
Leonardo.
of you, Andre, and Julian. Okay?
It seems they require
think it's
assistance
okay.
securing the
Thank
transport
you.
slaves from
Thank
an
you,
old
Leo.
transport
But
ship
you
to
were
one in
mentioned
Earth.
first. All right.
That's-
So I think.
It's alphabetically. I'm
no,
sure.
I don't think that's
It's
it.
okay.
Leonardo, please clear this up for us. It's definitely not alphabetically, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I am not trying
can't
to
go to
compete.
sleep
Yeah.
with this
yeah.
unresolved. I'm sorry.
We're about to liberate these people, but we
So
need
here
to
again, we're in a
focus
protect
on
mission.
while this happens.
Actually,
Working on
we plan a
short-range
lot
standards.
more mission diversity
That
than in this
station.
demo as of yet. And for instance, there will be asteroid belts that come at you, some puzzle missions even where you use your abilities, maybe not to fight, but maybe to achieve a certain more abstract goal, like for instance having a cargo container with a lot of hazards and obstacles. About I really need to protect this, otherwise
I
Can
think
you
it's too
continue?
late. It's too late.
it might be too late.
Don't-
Ah!
don't worry.
The rest
Yeah,
of
I
the
need to
world
kill
we'll
it.
try to make use of all the drone abilities and, you know, just create challenges for each of them. Like if the one that Julian said with using the kinetic path to push stuff around or push something in the trigger spot or push stuff out of a trigger location, or I don't know what, pushing something, rescuing something from the other side of the map and bringing it towards a place where it should be, you know, that's just the usage of the kinetic path. Right? You can use the defensive path, of course, for all these kind of things that you know, protecting.
Showing you the
Right.
Devourer Attack.
Oh, that looks super nice, but it was,
Yes, it was
how
almost
did
that.
it kill
Yeah,
it so fast?
I killed it before almost, and then I realized that I wanted to show the Devourer Attack. So yeah, it's kind of
There's gonna be 3 more at least. Right?
Ah, there are more.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But also, I mean, it's also the diversity of the encounters is based on the swarm abilities, of course, that are the most important. But there's also a big part of it that rests on the type of tools the enemies use against you,
Yes.
right? And whatever you encounter on the actual battlefield. So you're gonna have to deal with enemies constantly, you know, adjusting their tactics as the story progresses to meet your, you know, whatever you're doing to defeat them. For example, you've seen a short example of it here with that EMP bomb countering your swarmy mega tactic of just putting all your drones on one enemy. But there's gonna be much more of those later on that
Yes.
counter your
There are
specific
dangerous
tactics. Right?
gas clouds in the area.
And
Best avoid them and even better, use them
yeah,
as
I don't know.
traps.
Just in general, your interaction with the enemy is also
Key.
key to that.
Yes.
Strange
So
setup.
there's multiple layers we're going for. There's map hazards like these gas clouds that make you consider the map differently. There's also opportunities on a map where you get to, I don't know, have a lot of asteroids to shoot fling at the enemy, where you have exploding things that you can push stuff into, and so on and so
you
forth.
have, I don't know, turrets hanging about that shoot at nearby things
Yes.
that you have to drag them in.
Let's
Yeah.
go with the Devourer Attack.
If you add in also the fact, that you can have
It's a
the
little bit
aliens fighting against each other, so you have some sort of friendly fleet being present, maybe, right?
yes.
So that's
It's a little bit messy because we're in a gas cloud and they're constantly being this.
but it's a good example
yeah.
of the sandbox thing.
Yes.
So you have to.
You have to be
Work
careful,
around it, yeah.
otherwise this would be a perfect counter-attack to this enemy, right? But not in this map, because if he flies through a gas cloud that disables all my drones, that's all that's left, you know? So there's not much going on there. So I would say let's
Now
instead
you couldn't. Now you couldn't.
kill him.
Its escort is now catching up.
It's easier
Let's
that
get
way.
rid of
But there is
everything.
more coming, so maybe some of those are not going to be in the gas cloud, right?
Do the attack loop. Whoa.
Attack loop, true. Attack loop is amazing. So every one of our paths has a loop functionality that you get to unlock, and you get to make this vortex of death, right? If anything flies into it, it's gonna die. And if it doesn't fly into it, you can always give it a
Push it.
little nudge, you know? I mean, this was maybe not the smartest idea.
Wasn't
Because-
a very little nudge.
Yes, it was a tremendous nudge. But we can use our physical path instead.
Arminus, the drones can be destroyed, yes?
Yes.
They can be inactivated.
Let's push him in. He's dying.
Yes, perfect.
Done.
It's they can be destroyed, and you can repair them as you repair the Argo. So also
Yes.
using basically feeding resources into the sphere, and the sphere
Yes.
does its thing and pushes out drones.
Yes. So
Right,
the drones as well as the Argo HP in general are another. You can almost call it a resource that you
That's
need
how
to.
you lose by
yeah.
economy.
Yeah.
So you get your drones destroyed, you get your Argo damaged. So in the end, you might end up that you reach a certain repair place, you don't have enough resources, and from then on, you know, in the next mission, could happen that you just die.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can always reduce difficulty.
Yeah.
And that will help.
Or you can just go back, you know, restore, you know,
Yeah, you load a previous save game
and
or
just
something,
go the
and then
safe route.
yes.
We're intercepted
exactly.
a war convoy carrying some much needed vaccines.
So
While we managed to pull them out of war, their
let's see what
Well, what
comes
I'm trying
about.
to drive is that
IDs of the
you can,
transport ships,
it's
and
not
they
gonna
are
be
now
hand
not
holding
ready
you
to be kept
too
Yes.
much. It is possible to lose.
Absolutely. Maybe let's do another loop here. Ooh,
Oh, it's a bad place to do the loop.
that's a very bad place to do the loop.
Oh, it's gonna hit them again.
So, should I show them the energy path?
I don't know, man. Maybe
I
it's
don't know.
just-
I mean, this is the energy path. By itself, it looks rather unspectacular. I can tease it. I'm not gonna show you what it does, though.
Yeah, just throw
draw something through it, and you can see they latch onto other drones. Whatever that might do, I have no idea.
Enough with the disclosure, man.
Yes, I know. Sorry, I'm getting carried away with these things. So yeah, that's one of the not even late game abilities, but let's say more advanced abilities. It interacts quite a bit. So yeah, that was a really bad attack. I know it. Please.
Very bad aim there. I don't know.
Yes, that was bad. So
that
what do we do about this guy here? He destroys all our proteges.
Yeah, it somehow is still active. In
yeah,
that cloud, I think the cloud randomly deactivates some system on the ship, and if it doesn't deactivate the missiles, then
actually in the future we will make it differently. It should deactivate the entire ship, and that's it. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be able to propulse itself a little bit. Maybe another thing I wanted to tell you guys. All the alien races have their own lore, right? And this is the Vor, and they use these antimatter propulsion devices, right? So what you can see here, yes, what you can see here is the annihilation of antimatter and matter being projected onto a mirror basically, and the photons then propulsing it forward. You might wonder, what the heck is this dude talking about? Well, this is actually a real life, let's say, design, and we cannot manufacture this yet as a human race, but it definitely works on a theoretical level, and that's one of the things we could imagine an advanced species to use as propulsion.
I don't know if the other race has it in this version at least. No, it doesn't. The other race's engine is definitely different.
It's definitely different, yeah. I mean, yes, it has a different one. It doesn't have the antimatter one.
Right.
It's a different one. So there is Arminus.
Yeah.
That is already answered. Okay, sorry. If you have any questions, let us know. We will answer them to the best of our ability, which might not be much, but we'll try. Maybe should I show them this one?
Oh yeah, it doesn't look the same anymore.
No. Then let's not show it.
Yeah.
Let's not show it. That was the charged attack move that you would have seen now, but I'm not gonna dissolve that. Honestly, this is we're cheating at this point, right? You are not supposed to have all these abilities at this point. This is just let's say developer's prerogative.
A show off.
Yes. Ooh, this one is passing through. This is a problem. It's time to say goodbye. No. Why are you moving?
Why you move, son?
No, they don't align. It's annoying.
Hold on, Argo.
So let's kill this guy.
Oh.
Ooh, we get reinforcements. Reinforcements arrive.
So these guys have some more classical engines. Kind of.
These are, anyways, a very funny race. Like super highly advanced reactors, right? And entirely bad hulls, and basically everything else. It's like a patchwork of things slapped together somehow so it works, but it's very, very interesting. We have a new question of Eike Schwen.
Yeah.
How many drone abilities attack moves will there be?
Well,
will the Argo also have access to any abilities? So there are a total of 16 abilities for the swarm in the end. So you will have your hands full. And on top of that, you have upgrades for the Argo that change how you incorporate the fight.
The thing is, just to maybe clarify this, you are not going to have abilities for the Argo that you activate the same way as the drones. So whatever Argo has is either passive entirely, like, I don't know, increased
HP
points,
yeah,
for
that's
example,
like
which is
armor
the basic
plating and whatnot.
and moving up to stuff that has its own little AI that's predictable in a way, Like that laser that shoots targets which are below a certain health.
Yes, so you can use it as a
Yeah.
finisher, or maybe it creates a dangerous area on the battlefield. You can push stuff into
Usually
it, and
around
you
the
know
arrow. Yeah.
that something will happen there. So it's more like a support character, if you want. Right?
What you will upgrade to it will make it less vulnerable, hopefully. Of course, the enemies will also increase in lethality, so that keeps it balanced. And also make it somehow, usable on the battlefield. So it's not something you just have to worry about, but you balance the risk of allowing, more ships to deal with things around the Argo.
Yes.
So that the
You
Argo can
can-
shoot at them, or
You can even then maybe go away from the Argo for a bit, and it will be able to sustain itself, right? So here we get the map modifiers again, and fight against a couple of pirates.
interesting question.
Interesting questions. Will there be a pre-order perk, or will the game launch into early access without it? We're not sure yet on that entirely. So there are ideas floating about in either direction, but we'll keep you updated. Yeah.
It
Yes,
got stuck.
that's-
No,
That's
son.
the point of it being stuck. Let's get rid of this wall. And for instance, also stuff like, the wall suddenly getting the ability to reflect something.
Yeah, well, that also adds. I mean, you have these basic abilities, but then
You
you
get
have these upgrades for them. which
upgrades for the
might
basic
change how they
abilities,
work.
and then you get to fight enemies that maybe even require you to turn their own weapons against them. So yeah, always something to look out for. Ooh, I missed. This is bad.
We're not playing on people replaying missions for getting more stars. or something.
What are you?
I'm
yeah, then
answering-
answer the question.
Yeah, will there be challenges during the missions, like complete the mission under 2 minutes, or let the Argo don't get any damage? No, unless they are.
Likely not. I mean, again, has been an idea that is floating about for a while, but let's say we want you to experience the game as one sequence of cool encounters, of interesting also story events and whatnot, and then replaying old encounters over and over again to get certain things done. I can imagine it as a, after you played the story that you get to do this, but not throughout. But again, that's definitely something we
But
can.
however,
What?
there are some optional objectives that you can
Absolutely.
take.
There is
within
also a couple of smaller decisions you can take
Exactly.
to make your life harder, but for a bigger gain, obviously.
Like, do I still wait for the reinforcements to arrive, kill them, get some more XP and resources, or just warping out now if I don't feel like it? This kind of.
Yeah.
output to
Here we
drop
can
damage.
actually show how the swarm gets damaged and how it gets repaired. Here, if I repair all the swarm, it takes a big chunk out of my resources. We can take maybe a couple more. Then get the attack loop and the laser battery. I just love it so much.
So will there be also enemies that are invisible or have a camouflage shield, Julian? I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that one. It's
Heart.
it's great. How should I put it? Trying to achieve that as well.
Yes.
But
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see. Because it comes with its own set of new things, let's say, and yeah, let's hope for it. Fingers crossed it will be there.
So it's not a technical problem.
No, it's
Happens.
more of a
Just-
game design
It's
problem,
a game
basically.
design problem
And you also need good ways to counter them with the drones. We have some even already coded, but still, it needs its own special place because we feel it's very
We're about to drop on the Vor
a
station
very
that you
powerful
bought.
technology,
Ready
right?
to-
And if we just
While
throw it
forces
in and it comes here on the
station,
side, badly done,
slaves that were
that's
liberated
not cool.
testify it
So,
actually is a
L-
bioweapon
if we do
Black
it, we
Ops
do it
research
proper.
Your task here
So
War
it's
Vanguard
time
is about
to
be pulled from war.
attack
All
some
turn to
more.
battle stations.
Where are they? There they are. Surprise.
Yeah, so out of the two races, these ones, the Vor, are the ones that are more static and heavier armored like that. You've seen them. And the others are, the Dashan are the ones that are more focused on mobility, so to speak. So they
Yes.
you will not really see
The
static
Core Fleet
Dashan
is about
ships
to warp
because
in.
they're also very
Our knowledge
fragile,
of
and
the
that would mean
Slaver's
that they get
doctrine
killed
tells us that if you
almost
destroy these cruisers
As
that
well.
we've marked for you, the wing commander would warp in. Destroy the
Whoa,
ship as
3
we mark.
cruisers pampering my wall.
Legally
That's
required to disengage
Can you just
and
remove it?
complete our mission.
no, they pushed it away.
Okay.
So I think they have the EMP device on them. Yes, they do. So
Unfortunately.
let's bait the next attack instead of going all out in. So let's bait it first with a small one. And this one is far away. Like just a small one, so it will be disabled, and then 2 big ones. And here we go. It actually worked.
Proper.
This is how you do it proper. So let's again bait it. Are you reloading at the moment?
Yes, it did.
Did so only this guy has it.
Yeah, the middle one doesn't have that.
And here you go.
Enemy wing commander and escort are dropping from war.
Oh, Wing
This ship will
Commander
be
is
marked.
coming. Yes.
Ooh, now we get the special one. Z is asking, looking forward to seeing this handcrafted campaign. Just curious, you mentioned the possibility of different mode with increasingly difficult waves of attackers. May I suggest a simple sandbox mode where you can remain in-game and spawn enemies, resources yourself, and play around with the swarm, similar to Dungeon Keeper's sandboxes? Yes.
Yeah.
That's something we want to. But yeah, definitely a good suggestion, would fit perfectly. I also remember Battleforge, if you ever played it, had a very similar thing in the main menu. I like that approach a lot. But this one is really nasty. So maybe let's take care of this one first. Oh, this one is nasty too. There is nasties everywhere. So
Drones all over. Oh my
wow,
god.
they're really punching a hole into our drone
Use
swarm.
the Devourer, man. Devour it.
Should we devour it? Okay. Let's see if that works better.
Devour it.
Wow.
Yes, it's going above the shields. It doesn't care, man. It simply doesn't
So
care.
it builds up damage like
No, that was a critical kind of hit.
which one?
It destroyed the system on the ship and it dropped,
Yes.
exploded, and give it like
It has
a
so
split.
much HP. But now it's gone.
You and
Dash
your
and
lapdogs
curse.
have made it out alive from this cluster.
So
We will never.
The remaining enemy fleet is
here we
disengaging.
go with the simple
Station has been reduced
ones.
to hot flag.
because we now should
The
have
rest of the
enough
war fleet
drones
has been
so we
intercepted
cannot
and
stop it
obliterated.
anymore.
Your involvement is still
Stop.
unknown.
Yeah, it's
Meet us
stopping
at
it.
the
Yeah,
doorsteps
okay.
and we'll get the
Incompetent.
Nexus
So-
cluster together.
I guess
Then
if
we
we
can
get
talk
him
about helping you
closer,
on your quest.
The four
that would be
hero.
better for us.
I hope you make it.
Yes, yes, it should be enough to just get him closer. And then, yes, okay.
Okay,
That was
that
also pushing him into his whole torpedo. That's always nice. And we won! What a surprise!
Again, how is
Yes,
this possible?
I don't know. We shouldn't know how to
So
do this.
2 defeats, the 1 defeat, 2 victories. That's
Yeah,
pretty
why?
decent.
Why would you have? Why would you
That's a
mention
good
this?
score for you know.
Oh come on! I never had a purposeful defeat. I did it to show off the
It
defeat
looked
screen.
very natural. That's
Yes, I
absolutely
know.
correct.
I'm a very good
Perfect.
actor. So it happened.
Exactly.
No,
Everybody-
it happened.
fooled
but-
everybody.
Come on. So, any more questions? Last chance. Definitely, if you like the game, please wishlist it so you can get in touch, or even better, get the newsletter, because then we will conduct a series of playtests still in the upcoming months, where you get to check out the newest version always and give us feedback on how it plays, how you feel about it, and maybe your ideas then makes it into the game. Actually, we listen a lot to what is being said. So again, also if you have feedback on this version that you're going to be able to play on the Steam Game Festival, please share. We love to hear about it.
It's a pretty new genre, you know, in
Yes.
a way. So it's also the dialogue with the players or the potential players. It's a very important part of
Yes.
how we get this.
Yes, because there is no swarm strategy game out there, so it has some, let's say, definitely particularities and definitely new things in there that nobody did before. So we want to make sure that it's understandable, that you enjoy it too, and you get the feeling that we want Drone Swarm to convey, in a sense, right? That the feeling that we get when we play it, like, ooh, you know, feeling smart about it. So yeah. If you have any more last questions, now's the time. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys again in one of the upcoming streams. There's definitely going to be more. And maybe one last time we show the trailer, because we're really proud of it. Chris made it, and he did an outstanding job, I would say.
It also, I think, hints of stuff that is
yet to come
past this demo.
Yes, I can briefly put it in, and then use the meantime also to ask questions so we can get back to you on that.
Jump complete. We're being attacked. Bring up a wall. They're punching through.
Our search for New Earth will be difficult.
This one is heavily shielded. We can use the asteroid. We did it! Let's salvage their tech and upgrade the swarm. Now let's see what we can do.
Earth is dying. We must.
Oh, so we're back. Hello. Any last minute questions? Otherwise, we'll say enjoy the game, try it out once it's working on Steam. I guess Valve is on it full steam. And we'll be fixing the issue soon, so you can enjoy it. Again, feedback is highly welcome. Thanks for watching.